In nature, confrontations do not begin with an attack, but rather with a silent pressure that builds up through every movement. Each individual observes, adjusts, and waits for the right moment, a juncture where the slightest misstep can alter the entire outcome. From the initial standoff to the moment of impact, everything unfolds with speed and decisiveness. Yet, what truly determines which side maintains control? Even when standing still, a hippopotamus radiates an intensity that charges the surrounding air with tension. Found primarily in Africa, they inhabit rivers, lakes, swamps, and freshwater bodies. They possess massive bodies weighing thousands of pounds and incredibly powerful jaws, capable of a bite force of around 1,800 pounds per square inch. With tusks reaching 40 to 50 centimeters in length and a readiness to react at a moment's notice, it is that very stillness that draws the eye. That stillness caught the attention of a lioness that had wandered into the territory, prompting her to observe and assess the situation. She crept closer, keeping a low profile, but in a split second, the hippo detected her and reacted instantly. Without hesitation, it wheeled around and charged, clamping its jaws onto the lioness's head and exerting immense, repeated force, forcing the predator to change direction under rapidly mounting pressure. In that brief moment, the hippo held the upper hand and stood its ground. The lioness struggled to break free from the relentless pressure, managing only to create enough distance to retreat. The encounter ended with a clear display of superior strength, leaving no opportunity for the lioness to secure a meal. Even without moving rapidly, lions command a presence sufficient to alter the behavior of those around them. They are primarily found in Africa, particularly Tanzania, where open savannas and water sources shape their territories. Sharp teeth delivering a bite force of around 650 pounds per square inch, combined with powerful shoulders and necks, enable them to subdue large adversaries. It is at this boundary that unusual movements begin to emerge. These irregular movements quickly escalate into tangible pressure. A lioness, having strayed into hyena territory, begins to observe and assess the situation. She maintains her distance and adjusts her course, but the pressure mounts as the hyena clan splits up and closes in from multiple directions. Rather than launching a frantic assault, they create constant agitation, forcing the lioness to pivot and maintain her balance as her maneuvering space shrinks. As the space constricts to a critical point, the tension shifts into a decisive turning point. A pride of lions appears from the rear, transforming the situation from a vulnerable encirclement into a balanced confrontation. A brief clash ensues before the hyenas scatter and retreat. The lioness is liberated, and the pride reasserts control over the area. With control re-established, the tension subsides. Coordination and timing determined the entire course of events. Stability returns to the landscape, and the local food sources remain secure, continuing to provide sustenance for the pride. Across Africa, leopards adapt flexibly to diverse environments. From savannas to open woodlands, each individual maintains strict control over its territory. This territoriality eventually brings two males into an unstable proximity where tension mounts palpably. The presence of a rival no longer allows for the safe observation distances maintained previously. They hold their ground, sizing each other up briefly before rapidly engaging in physical conflict. The two lunge at one another, vying for control of the neck and shoulders while maintaining a steady rhythm of combat. A prolonged struggle ensues, causing the balance of power to gradually tip in one direction. From this shift, a clear advantage emerges, leading to a swift conclusion. One leopard secures the upper hand and forces its rival back across the boundary, while the other retreats to avoid further injury. The confrontation ends, with the disparity in strength and physique ultimately determining territorial control. At a familiar watering hole, memories of migration routes and herd dynamics begin to dictate the elephant's behavior. They retain knowledge of water sources for years and travel in groups to ensure survival. African elephants weigh between 4,000 and 7,500 kilograms, with the largest individuals exceeding 10 tons. Their trunks containing around 40,000 muscles are incredibly flexible. Yet, it is this sheer mass that gradually draws two males into such close proximity that maintaining a stable stance becomes impossible. As the distance closes, neither retreats. Instead, they hold their ground and exert rhythmic, concentrated force. Warning sounds escalate into a head-on collision. With heads and tusks locked, a continuous push and pull struggle ensues, where each successive impact causes the balance of power to shift, making it increasingly difficult to reverse the momentum. Once the imbalance becomes too great to sustain, the outcome becomes clear. The larger elephant holds its position and continues to press forward, while the younger one is forced to retreat for safety. The confrontation ends without injury, yet the disparity in size and strength has determined the entire result. In Africa, particularly in Kenya, hyenas inhabit the savanna, adapting to climates ranging from hot and arid lowlands to cooler highlands. It is not raw individual power, but rather the ability to seize opportunities that defines their dominance. Their keen predatory instincts allow them to identify prey that is weak, injured, or isolated from the herd. From these subtle cues, a clear opportunity emerges, driving the sequence of events toward an inevitable confrontation. This momentum of approach prompts the hyena to hold back from immediate action, opting instead to observe and calculate. It maintains its distance, constantly adjusting its position in response to how the leopard guards its kill. As the leopard's control begins to waver, the hyena increases pressure by pulling the animal off balance, forcing its opponent to react continuously. This disrupts the immediate environment, making it difficult for the leopard to maintain a stable stance. Once stability is lost, the balance of power collapses completely. The hyena secures the bulk of the carcass, while the initial leopard loses its advantage. A second leopard appears, seizing the moment of chaos to snatch a portion before retreating, leaving the hyena to claim the remainder as its primary food source. As the struggle draws to a close and the remaining spoils are secured, the tension subsides into a familiar order. The hyena relies on persistence and coordination to maintain pressure, whereas the leopard depends heavily on timing and its initial positioning. This fundamental difference determines the outcome of the confrontation. In the wild, the ultimate advantage belongs to the party capable of sustaining pressure the longest. It is not size, but sensitivity that dictates how a snake commands its territory. Found primarily in Asia and Africa, they inhabit tropical forests with thick, moist undergrowth. As solitary predators, they rely on ground vibrations and their sense of smell mediated by their forked tongues to detect prey. This state of stillness amplifies the slightest movement, making it instantly perceptible. This heightened awareness forces the mongoose to keep its distance and observe. It circles the perimeter, gauging the snake's reactions through every flare of the hood and strike attempt. Each successful dodge disrupts the rhythm of the attack, creating a fleeting opening. In that split second, the mongoose accelerates, shifting from evasion to a decisive close-range assault. Once the distance is closed, the dynamic shifts instantly. The mongoose seizes control and swiftly concludes the confrontation. The snake loses its ability to react and eventually goes still. The hunt ends quickly, securing the meal for the mongoose. With the outcome decided, the entire sequence becomes clear. Reflex speed and impeccable timing were the deciding factors. When the attack rhythm was broken, the advantage immediately shifted. Precision in every movement allowed the mongoose to maintain control and secure its sustenance. Along the river valleys of Alaska, where salmon congregate seasonally, brown bears frequently appear to exploit this food source. Primarily found in North America, particularly the United States, they inhabit areas near resource-rich rivers. These spaces also create natural boundaries where the proximity of two individuals inevitably leads to a confrontation. Tension mounts with every movement, forcing a face-to-face standoff. Neither rushes to attack. Instead, they growl and size each other up. The tension quickly erupts into a brief clash. The two charge, using brute force to vie for positional control, before breaking away to avoid losing their advantage. Once they have gauged one another, they gradually retreat and maintain their distance. Neither is defeated, and the conflict concludes in a controlled manner. While the disparity in size and strength does not result in a decisive victory, it is sufficient to establish boundaries and maintain a balance between the two. In these confrontations, instinct, timing, and the ability to sustain pressure determined the ultimate outcome. Physical power created an advantage, yet it could not guarantee control without precision and steadfastness. In nature, the victor is the one who maintains their rhythm and pressure the longest. The final edge always belongs to the individual who does not lose control. In the minds of many, the predator always holds the upper hand. A well-timed burst of speed is all it takes to end the hunt. But in nature, every confrontation is governed by unpredictable factors: distance, terrain, timing of attack, and the prey's reaction can change the course of events in seconds. When the advantage is lost, the final outcome depends on adaptability and timing. So, in a hunt, who truly controls the game? In the savannas, grasslands, and semi-deserts of sub-Saharan Africa, hyenas move in large packs and maintain a wide field of vision. In the Serengeti, they operate in groups of dozens, controlling territories that can stretch from tens to over 100 miles. Their bodies, weighing between 90 and 140 pounds, their strong jaws, and their ability to coordinate as a pack help maintain constant pressure, quickly closing the distance between the two sides. Near the edge of the forest, a lioness separated from the pride and watched the approaching hyena pack, keeping low and waiting for the right moment. When the opportunity arose, the lioness sprang to subdue her target. But as soon as she made contact, several hyenas immediately turned, attacking from both sides, forcing the lioness to constantly maneuver in a very short distance. The pressure from multiple directions made it difficult for the lioness to maintain her position and momentum. One close approach slightly stunned the lioness, forcing her to retreat, creating an opening to escape. The lioness accelerated away from the encirclement, forced to retreat when she could no longer maintain the initiative. In this situation, the hyena's numerical advantage and coordination allowed them to control the surrounding space. When pressure is maintained continuously from multiple directions, the besieged party struggles to maintain a stable position. The result shows that controlling distance and the pace of approach are the decisive factors in the outcome. Amidst the harsh deserts and semi-deserts of Africa and the Middle East, oryxes thrive in conditions where many other species struggle to adapt. In the Namib and Kalahari, they utilize their long-range vision to detect changes early. The open terrain and arid climate provide excellent visibility and few obstacles, making any movement easily detectable and quickly reducing safe distances in this environment. In the arid lands of the savannah, a pride of lions spotted an oryx that had separated from the pride and was silently closing in from multiple directions. As the distance narrowed, one lion accelerated to try and subdue it from behind. Immediately, the oryx turned and lowered its head, its long, sharp horns thrust backward, causing the lion to lose its balance and release its grip. At that moment, all attempts at approach were ineffective. The oryx maintained its distance with short, precise movements and reactions, putting the lion at risk. After several unsuccessful attempts, the pride gradually retreated, while the oryx maintained its defense until it was out of the safe zone. Near the riverside grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa, buffalo gather in herds to graze and observe. In the Serengeti, they stand near water sources to maintain their vision and support each other. Adults weigh around 1,100 to 2,000 pounds, have broad, curved horns with thick, shield-like bases, and very strong necks and shoulders, allowing them to engage in direct confrontations when approached. From the leeward side, the lion approached close enough and chose to directly confront the herd of buffalo in the dry forest. The lion leaped up and clung to the lion's shoulder to maintain its position. But as soon as it was touched, the buffalo turned straight, lowered their heads, and delivered a powerful horn butt, breaking the lion's grip and causing it to lose its balance at the point of contact. Undeterred by the initial but forceful thrust, the buffalo maintained their facing direction and advanced in step. The lion, unable to hold its position, retreated repeatedly. The buffalo continued to push the lion out of the area, forcing it to retreat after being stunned and showing signs of minor injury, while the buffaloes moved out of the danger zone in a dominant position. After a short but tense confrontation, the result showed that when shifting to a direct confrontation, the buffaloes could regain the advantage in a very short time. At close range, the side that maintains its direction and position controls the entire situation and determines the final outcome. In the savannas and open forests of sub-Saharan Africa, giraffes live in wide areas with excellent visibility. In the Serengeti, they feed on leaves at higher altitudes while antelopes and zebras feed below, reducing competition for food. Standing nearly 16 feet tall and weighing around 2,600 pounds, they can easily detect danger early. This advantage means that every approach by the predator must begin cautiously and from a considerable distance. From the edge of the clearing, a pride of lions spotted their target standing apart from the pride and began to disperse. They then accelerated as they got close enough. One lion lunged at the shoulder, another pressed close behind. But at the most critical moment, the giraffe spun around and delivered a powerful kick from its hind leg. The force of the counterattack enough to force one lion back and disrupt the attack. After several unsuccessful attempts to approach, the pride of lions gradually lost their advantage. One lion, affected by the kick, slowed down, forcing the group to adjust. The giraffe held its position, constantly shifting its direction to avoid being caught. Finally, the pride of lions stopped and retreated, accepting the end of the hunt without success. This situation demonstrates how size and reflexes determine the outcome. The giraffe maintained its distance thanks to its timely reaction. A precise defensive move can disrupt an entire approach. In nature, lions don't always maintain their advantage. Along the rivers and slow-flowing waters of sub-Saharan Africa, hippos congregate in groups in shallow areas to control territory and observe. In the Nile and Serengeti, they rest while watching for other animals to drink. Adults have wide jaws and a powerful bite that gives them an advantage when approached closely, making collisions easily escalate into direct confrontations. In a sparsely forested dry area, a lone lion spotted a hippo resting and approached from a hidden position, gradually closing the distance. When only a few meters remained, the lion prepared to charge. At that moment, the hippo lifted its head, sprang to its feet, opened its jaws wide, and lunged straight forward, forcing the lion to constantly change direction to avoid a collision. At the point of impact, the pressure peaked, preventing the lion from maintaining the initiative, and its attack was halted. Faced with the overwhelming pressure from its larger and more powerful opponent, the lion was forced to retreat and quickly withdraw from the area. The hippo maintained its position and ended the situation in the dominant position. Along the vast savannas and grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa, African wild dogs move in packs and utilize the open terrain to observe from a distance. In the Serengeti, they form groups when hunting, coordinating as a team and maintaining speed over long distances, thereby rapidly closing the distance and increasing pressure. At the edge of a dry grassland, a lone lion spotted a pack of wild dogs moving and began approaching from a hidden position. When close enough, the lion suddenly lunged to catch up with an individual at the edge of the group. The moment of impact, the entire pack immediately changed direction, pressing from multiple directions, creating a continuous encirclement. The relentless pressure from multiple directions forced the lion to retreat at the point of impact, unable to maintain its position. A close-range attack slightly stunned the lion, forcing it to retreat further, creating an opening to escape. The pack of wild dogs maintained their distance and continued to apply pressure, forcing the lion to retreat and leave the area. In the large rivers, lakes, and swamps of sub-Saharan Africa, crocodiles often lie at the water's edge where the current is slow, lying in ambush. In the Mara and Serengeti rivers, they position themselves near shallow banks, watching migrating species and waiting for the opportune moment. With their large weight, powerful jaws, and effective camouflage, crocodiles control the shallow water, making any approach to the water's edge quickly turn into a direct confrontation. On the muddy riverbank, A lion approached the water's edge after spotting a motionless crocodile. Gradually closing the distance, it lowered its body and prepared to pounce. But just as it got close, the crocodile opened its jaws and twisted its body sharply, immediately shifting to a direct confrontation at the point of contact. At the moment of contact, when the pressure peaked, the lion lost its position and its attack momentum was cut short. The force of the throw and the jaws constricting forced the lion back, creating space to escape. The lion quickly retreated, while the crocodile returned to its original position and regained control of the water's edge. From this event, it can be seen that environment and position play a decisive role in close-range situations. When distance is narrowed in a confined space, the ability to react quickly and control one's position becomes crucial. Just one gap appears, and everything changes instantly on the African savanna. Hyenas pursue their prey in open space, maintaining distance before accelerating as the formation begins to spread out. The distance quickly closes. Collisions occur within seconds, and there is no room to retreat. When the time comes, will that approach be enough to decide the outcome? Not scavengers, not opportunists. Hyenas are among the most organized and adaptable predators on the African savanna. Weighing between 90 and 140 pounds, they aren't superior in size, but they maintain a consistent presence in a fiercely competitive environment. The hyena's strength lies in its pragmatic intelligence. They memorize terrain, recognize weak signals, and coordinate as a group with high precision. Every action is calculated, from approach to timing. In nature, advantage doesn't belong to the strongest, but to the one who understands the situation. In the savannas and semi-deserts of Africa, lions move in open spaces, where their long-distance vision helps them control movement from multiple directions. A mature male typically maintains a stable position around a familiar area, relying on distance to maintain an advantage. When the pace slows down behind them, a gap begins to appear, and their presence is no longer as concealed as before. At the edge of that gap, a pack of hyenas, already present, maintains a wide formation and targets the lone lion to take advantage of their numbers. They don't close immediately, but advance in short bursts, constantly changing positions to block escape routes. The pressure from multiple sides forces the lion to constantly shift. Then, in a slow burst, one hyena gets too close, enough to break the initial distance. The reaction is immediate. The lion lunges and seizes its target in an instant, bringing the encirclement to a halt. But the hyena's rhythm didn't stop there. They immediately pressed in from multiple directions, advancing and retreating to maintain pressure. The lions couldn't hold their position long enough, forcing them to constantly adjust, and the encirclement began to loosen. Gaps formed again. The lions proactively left the area before the pressure returned, while the hyenas maintained their formation at the edges and didn't press any further. The two sides separated without further confrontation. On the expansive grasslands of the Serengeti and Masai Mara, herds of wildebeest move in long columns across the open, low-lying land with unobstructed visibility. Each step maintains a steady rhythm, but at the edges of the herd, the distance between individuals begins to widen. It is at this gap that a collision can occur at any moment. As soon as the gap becomes apparent, a spotted hyena accelerates from behind. It charges straight at its target, without changing direction. The wildebeest immediately turns, lowers its head, and advances straight forward. Repeated butts force the hyena to deflect, stepping back to avoid a head-on collision. The wildebeest continues to close, maintaining a short distance and forcing its opponent out of position. The hyena attempts to advance again but cannot maintain its approach. It turns and withdraws from the area. The hunt ended right at the edge of the pack, the prey holding its position and escaping danger. In the savannas, woodlands, and rocky slopes of East and South Africa, leopards live solitary lives and choose areas with dense bushes to control their view. They hunt silently, dragging their prey into good cover to maintain an advantage. Every movement is economical and precise, but once the meal begins, the enclosed environment also obscures movements on the periphery. From a distance, a hyena is watching, maintaining a safe distance. It moves around the periphery, waiting for the moment the leopard leaves its advantageous position. Then, suddenly, as the leopard retreats into the bushes, the hyena advances, occupying the space. The moment the leopard turns back, it closes in and applies constant pressure, forcing the leopard to halt its control. The leopard retreats deeper into the bushes, waiting for an opportunity to return to retrieve its food. But each time it approaches, the hyena reacts quickly and maintains a close distance, preventing the leopard from stabilizing its position. After several unsuccessful attempts, the leopard was forced to retreat. The result was clear. The hyena kept its prey, the leopard couldn't get its meal back, and the hyena won. From this sequence of events, control didn't belong to the first predator, but to the one that held its position until the end. From this observation, patiently waiting for the right moment and maintaining pressure determined the entire outcome. African wild dogs move in tight formation, each holding its position as they approach prey. At speeds of up to 44 miles per hour, the pack maintains pressure through endurance and coordination. When an antelope falls, the pack quickly approaches and begins to eat. But just as the pace peaks, the movement slows, and a brief gap appears. On the edge of the area, 2 hyenas have been watching. They keep their distance, splitting off in opposite directions, waiting for a clearer moment. Then suddenly, one accelerates to block the retreat, forcing the wild dogs out of formation. At that very moment, the other moves swiftly into the center, severing the newly formed coordination. The disruption quickly spreads as more hyenas arrive and tighten the noose. One holds the blocking point, while others move in to surround the prey. The pack of wild dogs returned several times, but each time they were repelled, causing their coordination to gradually become disjointed. The outcome became clear. The hyena completely controlled the prey, forcing the pack of wild dogs to retreat. In a competitive environment, the difference lies not in initial speed, but in the ability to maintain pressure until the end. From that sequence of events, reading the timing correctly, clearly dividing roles, and maintaining a stable rhythm determined the entire outcome. Along the grasslands and wetlands of East Africa, buffalo gather in large herds near water sources and thick pastures, their bodies weighing over 1,000 pounds. Their broad, curved horns and thick hides help them withstand direct impacts. When moving, individuals maintain close proximity, and gaps begin to appear at the edges of the herd. From these gaps, over 50 hyenas line up and advance. They encircle from multiple directions, constantly shifting positions to separate one buffalo from the rest of the herd. As soon as the encirclement narrows, the buffalo immediately regroup, the adults advancing and charging directly at the approaching hyenas, forcing them to retreat in waves. The buffalo maintain their formation, ensuring no individual is separated. Each time the hyenas advance, they are pushed back by direct charges, and the distance remains constant. After several unsuccessful attempts to approach, the entire pack of hyenas stops and retreats. No buffalo were captured. The herd held its position and protected each other. Amidst the dry grasslands of the Serengeti and southern Kenya, zebras move in herds near water sources and low-lying grass, weighing between 500 and 700 pounds. Their strong legs and quick reflexes help them maintain formation. At the edge of the herd, the distance widens in seconds, creating an easily accessible point. At that moment, a hyena accelerates and approaches from behind. It latches onto the zebra's flank. The zebra stops, turns its head, and reacts immediately. The two maintain close proximity, constantly changing direction, the hyena trying to hold on while the zebra attempts to escape. The zebra musters its strength and breaks free from the hold. It accelerates away from the position and rejoins the herd. The hyena slows down and stops, following suit. The hunt ends. The zebra escapes. The hyena fails. Through each confrontation, the hyena relies not on sheer strength, but on observation, timing, and maintaining pressure in open space. The outcome varies depending on the situation, whether the prey holds its position or the hyena controls the distance. In that environment, the deciding factor is not who attacks first, but who maintains the advantage until the end.